Dear friends and family, hello, pranam. Following is the conversation with Miss Nivedita Nirvikar. Until this year, she was the only woman senior advocate at Patna High Court. She represents Central Custom and Excise Department, and I have had a good fortune of listening to her arguing before Chief Justice's court during my judicial clerkship. I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation and learnt a lot. I hope you also learn a thing or two from this conversation. Welcome to the first podcast, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for agreeing to do this. It was 2020, 2021 when I was doing my judicial clerkship when I saw you first time arguing in the High Court. And I thought of doing this at that particular point of time only, but 2 years have been passed. I was busy with some other assignments. I'm so glad that I've finally gotten time to do this.
Thank you so much for inviting me for the first time.
Yes. So, ma'am, whilst I was hearing you argue matters in the High Court, in the Chief Justice's court, I could hear you arguing before the court. I had the petitions that you filed before the court. I could go through the petitions, but there was certain information that I did not know about you. So I would like to start from there. Basically, your background, where were you born, have you had your foundational education, where did you study law from? So we'll start from there.
Okay. So I actually thank you so much for inviting me for the show. I am from Gaya.
Okay.
There is a village near Gaya that is called Telpa.
Okay.
So I belong to that place. My father got us to Patna for studying only.
Okay.
So he could buy a house. We all brothers and sisters were staying here. We studied here. So my entire upbringing, so far as my school and college part is concerned, that is from Patna.
Okay.
I did my law also from Patna Law College.
Okay.
And in those days, we were getting admission in Patna Law College on the basis of some marks which used to be given in 10th, for plus 2, for...
So how you have done your schooling?
Yes, so everything that was the points wise you were required to get.
Law must have been 3 years, no? After graduation.
Yes, law was for 3 years.
Hmm.
So at that point of time, it was like that. So it was difficult when I had done only my BA pass course. Those days we had pass course and then graduation degree we were having honors. So initially 2 years for the graduation and then 1 year for the honors. So while I was having, I could finish off my pass course only, I was inclined towards getting admission in law. But it was very difficult because I had a very low marks at that point of time.
Okay, what did you study for your undergrad?
Pardon?
What did you study for your undergrad?
That was economics, sociology and English.
Oh, okay.
That was in the 3 subjects.
Okay.
It's like a long time. I could not recall even that what actually I had studied.
This is precisely why we are doing this, man, because these information are not there in the public domain. But the people who are absorbing you, your juniors, people like me who are doing judicial clerkship, they would like to know more about you. They would like to know people who are who they are seeing arguing and they really like the arguments. So after law, have you decided that you want to practice law, or what were the various career avenues?
No, that I had decided before I got admitted into the law college.
Okay, so before that,
the confirmation and the determination was to the extent that yes, I had to practice, and therefore as soon as I passed law, the result was there. I got myself enrolled to the Patna High Court. In fact, before that, I joined some of the counsels who showed me that, look, this is the High Court, because I do not come from, I am the first generation lawyer. So I have actually no background so far as legal aspect is concerned. In fact, one of my colleague who showed me that, look, this is the corridor of the High Court. And I would tell you it's very interestingly, when I was shown, I just peeped inside one of the courtrooms where any of the lawyer who was arguing, he had opened the book and was arguing his matter. I just told them, where is the difficulty arguing a matter when you have to open a book and you can argue?
Have to read it.
So this is what I actually remarked at the very outset. Now I understand that what is the difficulty when you have all those 7, 10, or how many books
Right.
around you.
Right.
But the difficulty is
So,
there.
who has been your inspiration back then? What led you to decide before even you started studying law that you want to practice law?
Actually, what had happened, I was just in graduation first year when I got married.
Okay.
Thereafter, I had something in mind, like we were born and brought up in the manner that I had to do something. What could have I done? That was one aspect of the matter, which would have made me stay in Patna. So initially I tried, I should do MBA. I thought I should have lectureship. These things came into my mind.
Okay.
But then finally, I don't know how, somehow I could execute that no, I should go for law. But that decision was so firm that it was not that I am going for the law only for the purposes of going for the law, but it was always that yes, I have to practice. And certainly thereafter, I had not thought anything at that stage of life. It was all about that I'll practice hard.
Once you started practice, was there a moment where you thought that I should quit and do something else? Because practicing law is a challenging profession. So we all had our moments. Have you had any?
In fact, you would be surprised enough knowing one fact that I, although from being a lawyer of first generation, but within 6 months of the start of my practice, I started getting my own brief.
Okay.
And I started getting my brief to the extent that my senior told me that I should have my own office, I should have my own chamber. And most of the books what you are seeing at the present, actually it was bought at one go at that point of time.
Okay.
So he told me that, look, you should have your own chamber and you start practicing like that. He never stopped me joining him in the practice. But in those days, what do you have? You have few cases, like you have 2-3 cases in a month, say. But those 3 cases used to occupy my lots of time. Maybe small bail matters, maybe very small writ matters. So those cases used to occupy me too much. But apart from that, thereafter I used to be with my senior. Most of the time, whenever I am free, I used to be there with him.
Okay.
So I never looked back. This is with all God grace, I never looked back into this profession. And I think I was only 9 years of my practice when I also became lawyer for the state government.
Okay.
In fact, I was counsel for railways and central government only in 2.5, 3 years of my practice. So I remember when I became that, I went and asked my senior, when people were congratulating me, हमको क्या हो गया है? Why? मतलब ये क्या है? What is this? This I knew that I have been appointed.
Right.
But what is this? Because as I never had a background, I was not aware of so many things. But I got appointed. When I got appointed, I could come to know that what is this? What is becoming a counsel for the central government means.
So you got the opportunity first,
Yes.
and then you prepared yourself.
Yes, then I prepared for that. So these two, railways and central government, both these opportunities came to me only 2.5 to 3 years of my practice.
But would you say that cannot be a rule? That is an exception, that you found early successes, and within 6 months you found your own client. Within 3-4 years of your practice, you found you got engaged with railway. So what would you call? Will it be a matter of luck, or your matter of your own hard work, or you found the right people?
I think both the things matters.
Both the things matter.
So far as finding out right person is also concerned, that is of utmost importance. How I say this? I was not known to the bar of Gaya. I was not known to the bar of Aurangabad. I was not known to bar of so many places.
Right.
But I come from a background when people just need to have a background of yours, that people just should come to know about you. Like Gaya was a place from where lots of clients were coming to my senior's chamber, and I was introduced to them that I am such and such person.
From Gaya.
From Gaya.
Yeah.
Then how this this proceeds, like people would give you some file.
Mm.
If you work on that, you succeed, then it would multiply.
Do you remember the first independent client that you have had?
That I don't remember, but I remember the first argument which I made. That was on the very first day of my joining.
What was the subject matter?
That was a writ matter.
Mm.
The matter relates something with, it was a government service.
Mm.
So the employee was a government service, and the requirement was, in that case, the sanction was a requirement for prosecuting the particular accused
Mm.
or the petitioner. So the Honorable Court very nicely put me this question: was there any sanction?
Mm.
And I was out,
Mm.
because I did not know actually what is sanction, because I had read the entire brief.
Mm.
That brief was not mine. That file was not mine. It was my senior's file.
Mm.
He allowed me to go and argue that matter. Actually, on the very first day, he was just standing behind me. He made me argue that matter. So I remember that. So that was the case. But understanding my difficulty, the court granted me some indulgence that yes, I should get ready on this.
Okay.
And likewise.
Who was your senior, ma'am?
In fact, initially I joined Mr. Akleshwar Prasad Singh. He was known to be one of the best criminal practitioner in Patna. And subsequently, Mr. Tarakant Jha invited me to his chamber. He heard me arguing somewhere, and then he followed me. He just asked me that, who is your senior? After I finished my argument, I said, I am junior to Mr. A.P. Singh. He said, very well. And I just went to my association. He was following me. He came to my seat. My senior used to sit beside me. Rather, I used to sit beside him. He asked my senior then only that just give this girl to me. So this is how I started with Mr. Tarakant Jha also. But I was not there with him for a very long time. I was not assisting him in his chamber for a very long time because of my other difficulties. You can understand, I was a woman, married, having 2 small children.
Yes.
So those difficulties were there. I couldn't have been to the chamber of Mr. Tarakant Jha early in the morning, and at the same time to Mr. A.P. Singh's office in the evening, and at the same time in my office. So that was the difficulty.
True.
But initially I went to Mr. Tarakant Jha. I used to sit in my office right after 6 months of my practice. But then I was into like middling in between my Mr. A.P. Singh's chamber and myself.
Great. Can we fast forward to when you became a senior advocate, ma'am? What was the process like back then? And I was very surprised to know this whilst I was researching about you, reading more about you, that until last year, that was until 2024, you were the only woman senior advocate in Patna High Court.
No, it's not like that. In fact, I got designated in the year 1921, I believe. Before that, it was a gap of 27 years, I should rather say, when I was designated as a senior counsel, woman senior counsel. In fact, before that, Mrs. Anjana Prakash, Honorable Justice late Seema Ali Khan, they all were designated. But it was almost 27, 28 years back before I got designated.
Your date of designation is in 2021. No?
Yes, yes. So
2020.
before 27 years back.
Okay, you are saying
21.
that they were designated.
They
27.
were designated earlier, but after a gap of almost 27 years, I was designated.
So for 27 years, there were no designated.
There was no designated woman senior counsel.
Advocate.
Right.
So my question was, the first question that naturally comes to me, is it because there's no woman who can be designated to a senior counsel, or so basically what I'm trying to ask is that a demand problem or a supply problem, if we can call it in economics terms, that are there not enough women that can be designated as a senior counsel?
We cannot correlate it to demand and supply. The demands is always very difficult so far as whenever there is a question of woman is concerned. But so far as supply is concerned, there is abundant supply in those days also and today also. is just all about what is there, that initially it was only with the voting rights of the judges that you were designated. Now there is, after the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court, there you have to go through a long process. So far as you have to fill up the forms, you have to have your judgments, and there are so many processes. There is a committee which has been constituted in the Honorable High Court. The committee first filters, then you have to go for the interview. So there are so many processes which takes place. So in that processes you have to complete. You have to complete that process.
Yes, yes.
So I think I had been able to make out. So it was, in fact, before the designation, I should rather tell you, for 10-15 days we were quite constrained about the entire issue, that we are going to be questioned. Because after putting on practice for so many years, if somebody is putting you a question and you are not being able to reply,
And
that
basically
embarrasses
question
you.
around competence.
Yes, so
Are you
that
competent
embarrasses you.
Yes.
So we were quite nervous about it. There were other applicants also at that point of time, women applicants. But somehow I was designated.
So today what I could read is there are certain eligibility criteria
Yes,
to be
yes.
designated as senior advocate.
Correct.
Few of them is you should have 10 years of standing at the bar.
This was at all point of time.
At all point of time. That has not
There
been
is,
changed.
yes, that has not been changed. But after the Supreme Court judgment, certain processes have been evolved.
Yes.
So those you have to fulfill, you have to in fact overcome all those processes, like scrutiny and the other things, as there are so many processes which takes place while you finally come for the designation. Then the voting rights, how much voting is required to be done, whether 2/3. Now there are certain more changes which has been done. So this is a long process now.
Right. You have to either be designated by 2 existing senior counsels or be designated by, not designated, recommended by Chief Justice of the High Court.
Yes.
So who were you recommended by?
I was recommended by 2 senior counsels.
2 senior counsels. So once they recommend,
that is very rare that some judge is recommending you. That is rarest of rare. Even though they accept this,
I'm reading from the rules, so I don't know.
Yes, you are absolutely correct.
Yes,
that is the rule, but there are certain rules which are not fulfilled actually. So it is rarest of rare case, and I don't remember, or I do not have any knowledge within myself that anyone has been recommended from the bench.
From the bench.
I do not have, so far as Patna High Court is concerned.
So who were these 2 senior counsels who recommended you?
One was Mr. Rai Shivajinath. He was up to me from the day when I had never thought of.
Okay.
He would always suggest me that, look, Nivedita, the forms are going to come up. Now you will fill up. So on the last occasion also, he asked me so many times. I didn't do that. And then Mr. Shashi Anugrah Narayan.
Okay. So have you worked with them? Which is
actually not. Never.
So
they have
know.
Just heard me arguing.
Okay. Okay.
Never. I never.
Because once any senior counsel recommends somebody, they cannot recommend anyone else.
Yes.
That is the
correct.
rule. So once they must have recommended you, they couldn't have recommended
anyone else. Correct.
Okay. Okay. There's under the rules it says that there has to be a committee which every year takes into consideration if there are people eligible to be designated as senior counsel. But I don't see that happening. Does that happen?
This does not happen every year.
Every year.
But yes, this process has taken place in the year 2021.
I think after you, it was this year.
It was this year. Correct.
After 21, 25.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So I saw the application. So in the application, there are requirements where you have to mention that have you done pro bono cases earlier. So have you done any pro bono cases?
Lots of pro bono cases we have been doing, and pro bono is a name these days. There are lots of clients from our village who comes, ji paisa nahi de sakte hain, ji badi garib aadmi hai, and we do this. And there are lots of people who come over here and we don't charge them. So this pro bono name is for those people, I believe, those who do not belong to villages, or there are lots of people, like I had one of my staff here in this Zakir Hussain campus. He is facing difficulty. He is coming every day. I am not charging him. How can I charge him?
Right.
So there are lots of association. There are lots of people who know. There are lots of people who cannot pay you. So pro bono work keeps on going. This is part of our profession.
Yes.
And
but there are two kind of pro bonos from where I see.
Hmm.
There can be pro bonos where there's no consideration for you, that wherein you are not expecting any money, or there can be pro bono where you have really come across an issue that you found yourself is very close to you and you want to pursue it any further.
like I tell you, there is a female who was contesting. I just give you a round shape to my answer actually to your query. There was a female who had come to me. Fine. She came with a very small amount of money and told my clerk that I can pay you only this much. My clerk said that she is paying me only this much. What should I do? So I'm leaving her. I could overhear something. I said, if she cannot pay, we'll do her. Just call her. I just wanted to assess. There are at times that people can pay you, they may not pay you. They would not like paying you. When she came to me, I realized that no, I should do her work. She has a very genuine case, and I contested and I won that matter. She was contesting against her husband, and I was successful in getting her the rewards what she wanted. So there are lots of pro bono of different nature. You are absolutely
different
correct.
nature, yes.
And I have run all kind of matters.
And in application like these, where you have to write about yourself, so you have to pick, there's a selection bias, the best kind of pro bono works that you have done. So I assume that the kind of pro bonos where you believed in the person or the subject matter which has been close to your heart, those kind of pro bonos
Look, there is one thing. Look, you just try to understand. In Patna High Court, you get a limited scope of pro bono types cases. These are the kind of cases which I give you the example. Like right now, I found one of my colleague. She was up to, there was two females from Nepal had entered India. And she wanted their release. But it was the customs department who were objecting about it. I helped her out getting those people, although I was appearing for the customs.
Okay.
In consultation with the department. So this can also be said to be a pro bono.
Right.
Except this did all good. The department paid me for that because that is a fixed amount of payment which is required to be paid to you when you are appearing for the department. That is one aspect altogether. But mentally I was doing that, trying to help her out, because I could feel that yes, she has got stuck in India. And I came to learn also so many things out of that how the releases are actually done when the matter relates to the those persons who have been rightly or wrongly have entered the boundary, have crossed the boundary.
Did this case find a place in your application?
Which application? Senior designation?
Yes.
I don't remember actually whether this found place or not, but I must have mentioned a few pro bono cases.
Yes. There was another one interesting section that I found in the rules, senior counsel rules, that one can voluntarily withdraw their designation.
Yes.
So does that happen? Have you ever seen that happen?
I am aware of this rule, but I have not found anyone withdrawing, I believe.
Do you have any reasons?
I don't remember.
Because I could not understand why would anybody voluntarily give the designation. Can there be any reason?
There can be certain reasons, maybe finding hard to reply, but there can be a circumstances like there are certain kinds of allegations or something which comes against the lawyer, and then he finds that I am not fit, I am not competent to remain as a senior counsel, and then he may withdraw. There can be a circumstances. Because when you are designated as a senior counsel, you also owe certain amount of responsibility towards the society. So there may be a circumstances, there can be a circumstances when one can do so, but by now I have not come across any
Such
as such.
circumstances.
Yes.
Do you think that there should be more women designated senior counsel in the bar?
Look, again, then I'll tell you, uh, designation certainly gives you lots of prestige that is there, uh, especially when you are being engaged by the companies and the other things. They require senior designated people around. But I believe it is the client who actually designate you as a senior or not. I find there are lots of people in Patna High Court who are not designated, but they have plenty of clients. So I don't think that even though they are not designated, it's making much difference to them. So I don't think.
No,
But
I was asking more from making the change point of view. Like having your clients is one thing, but as a woman, you can bring certain changes for other women at the bar, making it easier for them to enter the profession, all those kind of things.
designation is, I don't think, helps out anyone to that to to that extent. What I understand.
Like
Des-
through you, a lot of women could voice their opinion because you are a senior designated woman at the Patna High Court. So if any woman, I'm trying to think aloud here, that if any woman would have any concern, then through you she could have a better voice, she could have a louder voice, so that way.
I think it's all good if one, if you are getting something or the other, whether you are designated, it is adding to your personality. So I would not say that this does not affects the personality, but at the same time, there are lots of girls. Like right now, there is one girl who got elevated. She was not a senior designated. She had plenty of brief in the bar. So likewise, what I am saying, that yes, if you are designated, that has given you an another wing. That is no dispute about that. But even though that wing is not there with you, I think you can uplift lots of women. You can guide so many. Initially, I had, right now also, I have so many lawyers who had worked under me. There are males, there are females. So at that point of time, I was not a designated counsel, but they were working with me. When I was working under the state government, there were 5 juniors which were given to me by the state government itself. I was not a senior counsel at that point of time. But then again, it is something like, if you get an additional wing, it is an additional advantage to you. So once I have been designated, yes, I have enjoyed that privilege also for being an designated woman, only designated woman in
Yes.
Patna High Court for a
Yes.
very long time.
For a very long time.
So that is there. Like you can say that I am. It is for the first time the CBI also opted for me, and I was appointed as a standing counsel for CBI. So those things are there. That makes a very little difference actually.
As a woman, what I have read and what I understand is there are certain biases that goes for the gender. Like for our profession, it can be like client's preference. So a lot of clients coming from their own patriarchal mindset would be more comfortable in choosing a male senior counsel than choosing a woman counsel. So there's gender bias reflected there. And other scenario that I could think of is when a senior counsel only choosing for male associates, because again some kind of gender bias that women are not competent enough. So whether such biases, do you see such biases in your practice when you joined, or now has it changed? Has it become any better?
At the outset, I would say there is lots of changes.
Like when you
But-
joined, what were...
But as a woman, I would tell you one thing. A woman would always have to prove beyond a male.
Yeah.
Then she comes under the picture of consideration. So that is there. Sorry.
That
I
was
would-
there yesterday, that is there today as well.
That was there yesterday, that is there today.
Yes.
So women have one difficulty. First, they have to prove themselves. That look, I'm more competent than this. Then you would be kept beside that male figure.
Right.
Because initially when you join a bar or wherever you go, you are just treated to be a woman.
Mm.
Right? So when this is there, you have to work more. You have to labor more for proving yourself. I'll give you an example. I recollect. Late Srinath Singh was a very renowned name in the judiciary of Honorable Patna High Court. I joined the bar. He used to sit in my room only. Rather, I used to sit in his room, I should say. I joined the bar. I was very curious, understanding certain things, because this is a learning process. You have to understand things. You cannot help it out. There, I may be having some query. I was having some querying with some senior counsel. I was having that discussion for a long time. I believe maybe 15, 20 minutes or half an hour or 1 hour. I don't remember actually. It's long time back. But Mr. Srinath Singh was, he used to have a stick. So he would go there, he would return, he would go again to that side, he would again return. And finally, the senior counsel who was interacting with me, he very nicely said, "What are you doing, Mr. Singh? She has come to see High Court. She has come for an entertainment. You are teaching her for such a long time." That bugged me like anything. That disappointed me to an extreme. Because when I joined the bar, I tried my level best to prove myself.
Right.
But it was only after some days. He was for a very small, and I have just made an example. There were plenty. There were plenty opinions having the similar opinion that you are a woman and you have come to see the High Court. You have come for an entertainment, that too from you are having such a background where you don't require money, but you are in the High Court just for the entertainment. That's all. You have a time pass. After some time, the same person called me and said that, "Beta, I would not have said this to you, but you should dress like this. But since it is you," because he started taking me seriously. I have just cut this short because in the meantime, I had an occasion of engaging him. He stopped me. He said that you will not be able to work with me. I said, "No, I'll be able to work. I will be able to assist you." But it was for a very small span of time. I could just visit him once, and thereafter there were some issues. But then he started taking me seriously. So this is how you have to first prove yourself.
Right.
Once you prove yourself, people will start taking seriously.
No matter, notwithstanding what their opinion is.
Opinion would remain one and the same at the initial stage. You just have to break that ice. And that breaking of ice is a requirement. If you cannot do that, you will not be able to do that.
Do you see that stereotype about women changing now?
I told you right now that although there are lots of changes, when I joined the bar, there were very few women.
Even now, as of 2022, there are only 15% women.
But still there are 15%.
15%, yes.
Those were 2% at that point of time, 3% of that time.
Yes.
So when we are talking about today, there are lots of women, and I'm finding there are lots of girls. There are lots of hardworking girls. There are lots of very good girls who works. But the opinion remains the same with respect to those girls. Then for them also, they have to break that ice.
You'll have to fight.
You'll have to fight.
Yes.
You'll have to come prepared. What happens? There was a seminar going on There is an association of women these days. Mm. So they called me for some seminar. They wanted me to speak something. I spoke to them. I told them that, look, don't have a choked voice when you are arguing. And this can only happen when you have read your brief, when you are confident about your brief. Once you are confident about your brief, you will be in a position to command what you are saying. And this will happen only once you have read the brief. If you are not ready in your brief, any query from the other side, that would stop you from the argument. That would shake your argument. So you have to be prepared. That was the basic thing which I tried telling them. So look, when you come, you should be ready. It should not be just, I am coming for a Passover. Don't do that. But there are ladies who are doing it well.
I wanted to talk about gender roles. Like for even today, women has a higher burden of taking care of the household and their children than men. It is expected more from women. So in that case, how did you manage to maintain a good work-life balance? Because lot of rules that I read that say, for example, to be eligible for higher judiciary, you have to be in 7 years of continuous practice. I think for senior designation,
only
10 years of
thereafter you can appear in that.
Yes,
correct.
So 10 years for senior designation, 10 years of continuous practice, 7 years of so in this continuous practice, a lot of women might have higher burden of taking care of the family, taking care of the children. And if there's discontinuation, do you think there should be policy more suitable to them?
We judiciary do not have such policies like maternity leave. We do not have.
Right.
We lose. Maybe because that we are not employed to someone. It's a profession where you can take leave from your profession. So maybe because of that, we do not have to take leave from anyone. And there is no rules such as maternity leave. Now, so far as woman part is concerned, I think it's an inbuilt situation in a woman. They know how to handle their house. They know how to handle their
Have
children.
you ever discontinued once you started?
Never.
Never?
No, never. I have never discontinued. My children were too young when I joined the bar. But I used to squeeze out my work, my time. Like I always remember that by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, if the work nature used to be such that I can squeeze out myself.
So the ratio might change of
yes, so
work
I
and
used to
life.
come back home, take care of my children. Before I used to leave for my senior's office, I would make sure that my children have had their food. So this is what I told you, that woman, I think God gives her the kind of personality which is inbuilt in her. She knows how to manage herself, her family, her husband, her children, her profession. The difficulty is there. The difficulty is even today. It is not only the past difficulties are there. The difficulties may be of different type.
Right.
So the difficulties are there, but we can manage. And I think I have been able to manage.
Yes, through you people can see that this is doable.
Yes. Yes, that can be done. And there are others also who are doing it.
Yes.
I believe there are others also. When they are in the court, of course, they have handled their house, they have handled their children, they have taken care of their in-laws, and thereafter they're in the court.
Do you think as a woman, they bring different perspective to the practice of law?
They're more affectionate, I believe, into this.
To the client.
Yes. At times when some woman
Have you ever had a client who is more comfortable talking to a woman?
There are lots of women clients who would think that I would talk to her alone. There are the situations, especially in the matrimonial disputes, they would like coming, sitting beside me. They would like talking to me independently. They would tell us that what happens, which one is not in a position to answer or to reply in the presence of her father. Right now, only I think there was a lady, very highly educated lady. She was working with some management company, and then she left, and right now she's in a bank, and her husband was in Air Force. So yes, I spoke to her so many times all alone, and I can understand that what is her difficulty.
So,
So
so more women would definitely bring different voices, different perspective to the practice of law.
yes, look, this is not only about women. Say, think of a male. A male would have been more comfortable talking to a male lawyer. So it is nothing about being a female or a male. What I remember you had right now put a question. You were actually you said that being a woman with the clients, how difficult is it when the clients would whether they would prefer a woman lawyer or not. I think it's very difficult for them to accept a woman sitting in front of them where they are sitting as a client, because somewhere they are facing a supremacy of a lawyer. And this is the gender difficulty, that this is a male chauvinist society where we have been able to cut down the ice. I would not say that I am having female clients. 90% of my clients are male. So, but now at this stage, or even at that stage, at the initial stage, that was difficult. I personally believe that had I been a male, things would have been different. Although I am very happy with whatever position I am, I have no issues to that. But yes, that difficulty is there. The males can interact more. I find, I'll tell you, that most of the juniors who approach me, they would approach through my clerks.
Why so? They're
Because,
intimidated by you.
No. Then I try to understand that, oh, why this happens. Then I understand, oh, I'm a female. They are more comfortable with my clerks who are males.
Okay.
They would talk to them, madam is there. Although this is otherwise also, this is the decorum which is required to be maintained. But when you are talking to male lawyers, this decorum is not there, I believe, in the offices.
They can talk anything.
They will come to you. When I find my juniors even sitting before me with all, Ji madam, yes madam. So even my juniors who have worked with me for how many so many long years, because finally I find at least 2 dozen of my juniors or more than that roaming in the High Court, in the corridor, and they all have done extremely well. But when they come, whenever the issue of talking is concerned, they would maintain that distance, because that distance is because of, you understand, me being a female. So that difficulty is there. That difficulty is with the clients approaching you, that difficult. But once you have established yourself, you get over to being a woman or a male.
Then you're seen as equals.
Yes, this is what I am telling you. There must be some difference, even though I may not have felt that. That is another issue. But as I have not felt much difference, but then again, that difference remains, I think. Like the girls who comes to me, they are more comfortable talking to me. The girls who interacts with me, they are more interactive with me.
Right.
So I think that must be the difficulty, although I never had such kind of difficulty, whether I am interacting to a male or I am interacting to a female.
No, generally, ma'am, research states for corporates, for policy making in parliament, that different diverse voices and gender plays a role. Being a boy, being a man, I'll have a different viewpoint to see the world. Being a woman, she'll have her different set of challenges, so she will bring different perspective on the table. So in the parliament, I see there are reservations for women. In the corporates now, there are seats, and various research have established this, that organization which has more diverse voices, they do well, not just on the reputation side of it, but also financial side of it. They do well. For the policy point of view, it's the same. But when it comes to functioning of the court, do we have such? I was reading about it when I found that Supreme Court has, after the court's intervention, Supreme Court SCORA, I think it's called SCORA, the Supreme Court Bar Association.
SCBA.
SCBA, yes, Supreme Court Bar Association. They have, I guess, for their election for treasurer and things like that, there should be certain seats reserved for women.
Yes.
And accordingly, lot of different high courts, I think in Delhi High Court, it's the same. So do we have something in Bihar, in Patna High Court?
No, we do not have any as such policy reservation. All these things we do not have. We have some reservations in the lower judiciary that we do not have even in the higher judiciary.
I think in Bihar, in lower judiciary, for the judgeship, there are reservation for women.
Yes.
So should there be reservation at the High Court for the association elections?
When you talk about that, you talk about that I am from a weaker section.
Not necessarily. What is affirmative action?
What I say that why, well, look what I am saying. These are days, and for quite some long period, the women are getting the equal treatment with men so far as studies are concerned. Things have changed.
Yes.
Things have improved. Yes. Then why reservation to women so far as these cases are concerned? The reservation is required to be given to girls in schools till 10th, till graduation, till masters, not in all these places. Because once you have studied, say you have done graduation, the male has also done graduation, a female has also done a graduation. Now, when both have done graduation, they both have studied the same course. Once they have come into the field of, say whatever, say you have enrolled as a lawyer, you both are one and the same.
Let's try to understand this through examples, ma'am. When you started your practice, what kind of support system have you had at the bar?
Actually, nothing.
What are the support system now?
Actually, nothing.
But at the Supreme Court, there is a committee called Gender Sensitization and Internal Complaints Committee.
That we have even today in Bihar, in Patna High Court.
That we have?
That we have a committee there.
Okay.
That committee is for a different purpose. That committee is not so far as reservation is concerned.
Not reservation, that addressing the voices of women.
Yes, that is there. The committee is there. So committee, so far as that committee is there, that committee takes care of different aspect of the matter. Once a man and a woman, they both are at the same place, there may be so many issues arising. So for that committee is there. There can be certain kind of complaints for which that committee is there. There may be grievances of the clients with respect to their lawyer. The committee is there. So that is a different aspect. For making a complaint, for lodging a complaint, that is different. But so far as reservation part is concerned. But then again, I of late realize one aspect of the matter. There are lots of women who cannot fetch clients, who does not have clients, but they are really good. Now, if they are good, they have to prove themselves. When they do not have clients, how will they prove themselves? So there should be some policy to the extent that, like, say at the present, if I not incorrect, the state government is having a panel of more than 100 people in the Honorable Patna High Court. There must be hardly some woman. If there is 30% reservation into that, at least some woman would be picked up. Correct?
Correct.
They may prove themselves to be very good. Because fetching a client for a woman is difficult.
Yes.
The entire infrastructure of our life our society is to the extent that it is difficult for us to go and fetch a client.
Mm.
There, they may have some support system where they can work.
Mm.
I don't say that I won't say that the women are not there in that panel. Women's are there, but a very few women. Like I remember when I was the state council, it was me and I believe one another.
2 women.
2 women out of 100.
Mm.
ठीक है, we made ourselves without any reservation, that is true. But there should be some consideration for
Right,
women.
right. What about childcare facilities, creche?
Yes, that is there. We have
That
in
is there.
on Patna High Court.
Oh,
Yes,
great.
and I was rather impressed. I could find lots of girls who drops their child there. They goes for their argument. This is what I said. There are lots of
Yes.
challenges which a woman they do meet.
Now, how did these solutions come into the picture? It was because of the activism of lot of women lawyers. I heard about this case in the Supreme Court. I don't remember who was the lawyer, but she was stating a problem that back then there were no such facilities at the Supreme Court, and she had to keep her children in the car, turned on the AC all the time, and go for arguing the matter. So
And this matter traveled everywhere actually.
yeah.
I think this traveled to all the high courts. The directions were issued
Yes.
to all the high
Yes,
courts,
yes.
and thereafter they have started. And it is very recent, in the very recent past, I believe that the Patna High Court also have.
Great. Is there any
unit.
association of women in the Patna High Court?
Yes,
There
there is. There is a Lady Advocate Association.
Okay.
Yes. And there's one another association also. I am just missing the name. There is another association. Some committee is constituted there. There is a women's committee also there.
Okay.
So there are.
Great. Okay, now we'll move on to discussing various cases that you have been part of.
Right.
I'll start with which area of law do you like studying the most?
In fact, initially I started with the criminal law because, as I told you, that I do not have a legal background. So what I could see in the movie was something like a criminal lawyer used to be the best. So I thought of starting with the criminal law. I started, but my fate was different. It turned me to be a service lawyer, and I enjoy doing that most, I believe. I'm doing lots of service matters. I'm doing lots of matters of different nature, but service matter I enjoy maybe because of that I have a feel that I have been able to make certain justification. A person who has lost his job, or a person who could not get his pension, or a person who was dismissed from his service. So I get that satisfaction thereafter, that yes, I have been able to do something for somebody over here in the society.
That happens in all kinds of cases, no? In any case that you could secure some relief for your client. Or the kind of satisfaction is different for different kind of cases.
You are absolutely correct. But so far as when you are talking about the criminal cases, you are not aware of that whether this person was a criminal or not. We do the bail matters, don't we? But we do not know that whether this accused who has come to me
so you
is
are
innocent
moral.
or not. But when you are doing service matter, I am not saying that the other subjects may not be there. But when you are doing the service matters, it is like
Facts
you know
are more
that he is,
clear.
yes, facts are more clear. You know that he was an employee. You know that this is his hard work. He had been working for so long. This person, he has been dismissed from service from such and such charges. He has been able to prove beyond the reasonable doubts. So all those things are there in your, so you can have a certain more amount of satisfaction when you are working into that field.
Right. Again, from your memory, which case do you think has been most transformational for you? Or after this case, you started being recognized more at the bar?
Look, this is very, what do you call, filmy types.
Question.
That yes, because ये सब सिनेमा में होता है कि एक आपने आर्ग्यूमेंट किया और आप जीत गए and you become the brightest lawyer of that particular court.
So again,
It's
I'll
not like
clarify
that.
my question. Most of the cases, only either you or your client is privy to the case, the subject matter. Then there are cases which travels to other members of the bar because of the subject matter or because of the kind of engagement or the attention that case gets. And then there are cases which are blown out of proportion and media and everybody else is talking about it. So I'm asking about the second and third kind of cases that you have ever had.
देखो
Like for
अभी
example,
तो
right now one case, the PIL that you are
yes
dealing against, I think it's a PIL against a song which Honey Singh has sung.
sung
So this case has
Neetu
been
Chandra
taken by
being the
Neetu
petitioner.
Chandra has
Yes,
been the petitioner. So
yes,
you are all over the news. Everybody
correct,
is talking about that
correct,
case.
correct.
So have you had such cases before? One case that you could
Lots of
think
cases. There was a PIL file with respect to some remand homes.
Hmm.
There was some PIL file with respect to the jail inmates, and it was with respect to that the Honorable Court directed me to visit all the central jails to look into the condition of the inmates. I
It's
had
called
the occasion of
commissioner, no? When you are
I was
appointed as a
appointed
court
as an
commissioner.
advocate commissioner
Hmm.
for visiting all the central jails here. I had the occasion. There was one point of time that some PIL with respect to the inmates in remand home was an issue. I was made to visit the remand homes, not only remand homes, and there was a mental asylum also here in Koilwar. Sorry, I'm having a bad throat actually.
No, it's okay. You sound well, ma'am.
So, Koilwar, there is an mental asylum. So, in that mental asylum, although that hospital was there, but all the mentally challenged ladies were kept in the remand homes, along with the normal ladies in the remand homes. So, it was initiation at that point of time with lots of intervention of the honorable judge, myself, and others, when this asylum started working, functioning.
Okay.
And I think it's functioning well. Somebody was telling me that now OPD and the other things are being taken care of there. So it started there. So
Earlier, Bihar, Jharkhand had one at Kaki only, no?
Yes, yes. So after the bifurcation, we
Okay,
had
after the
none.
bifurcation, we did
हम
not
लोग
have
के
any.
पास कुछ नहीं था.
Okay,
हमारे
okay.
पास तो कुछ भी नहीं था.
Okay.
तो ये mental asylum बना. पर ये mental asylum बना, the infrastructure was there, but there was no doctor, there was no nurses, there were no patients. और ये जितने थे ये सारे remand home में थे. So that was taken care of, and in that PIL only, and thereafter the secretary, the health secretary was called
So
upon.
this was done after court intervened.
Yes, the intervention.
Was
of
it
the
a
court.
PIL?
I remember. I think it was a PIL.
Okay.
It was a PIL.
So you were appointed a court commissioner in this?
No, I was actually appearing for the state council, and thereafter I was made to visit as an advocate commissioner all these places.
Okay, I always had this question during my tenure as a judicial clerk. Also, I saw in lot of PILs, more so in PILs, court commissioners are appointed, and the visit of the court, they go to places to inspect and they come and report to the bench. So I always had this question: who pays? Does the state pay them for doing this job?
I'll tell you, I was appointed as an advocate commissioner right now. I think last year, 2023, I was made to visit Ziradei. 2022, Ziradei.
What is it?
That was the house of Dr. Rajendra Prasad.
Okay.
And not only that, here also the Congress office, Shadakat Ashram, and all those places. I was made to visit. There was some application file, and thereafter I was appointed as an advocate commissioner, and I visited all those places. But we don't get money out of all the times what we work. Neither do we like charging. But I remember I was very young when I had visited the remand home. So it was the honorable judge who made me, who passed an order for making a payment of rupees 10,000. I don't remember who paid that 10,000 rupees.
Okay.
But I remember that yes, I got that rupees 10,000. I don't even remember whether I received that or not, but I remember that I went there. But yes, you are provided with all infrastructure. Like right now, when we went to Jiradei, looking after the this Dr. Rajendra Prasad's home, the entire infrastructure was of the state government. We were made to stay somewhere. We were made to have lunch, dinner, traveling, everything. But no payment is required. It was such a pleasure visiting
like you
that.
said, I saw that certain judicial orders only carry such remarks that so and so money should be paid.
I think it is for the, like I believe you were working with Justice Karol.
Yes.
Justice
Chief Justice
Karol,
is
I
also.
believe, yes, made certain appointments to certain young girls
Yes.
or something
Yes.
for that NH highways.
NH highways
yes,
and inspection of schools.
Inspection of schools, yes, but it's not always.
It's
It
not
all
always.
depends upon the.
So when it becomes part of judicial order, then you are paid by the state.
Correct.
Otherwise, all the
But
different.
I don't remember whether I received that 10,000 rupees or not. I don't remember. I actually don't remember.
Okay, this was long back.
This is long back.
Okay, what case was this, Dr. Rajendra Prasad's case?
There were, I think there was a PIL file, and in that PIL, the condition of the and the infrastructure of the house was under question, and the lots of places of the Congress and the other things which is there here in Patna also, and the house of Dr. Rajendra Prasad at Jiradei, he belonged to that place.
Right. So important.
Yes,
places.
a very important,
Yes.
very important place for us, for anyone.
Yes.
So it was that I was required to visit and look at the duplicated condition or whether it is all right. So I had to submit a report on that. I visited the place. There was a committee constituted, not only me. There were two others along with me. We went to Jiradei and.
Okay. What is, can you think of any one case that you might have lost, but you have learned a lot out of that case?
Actually, I had lost a case. I remember there was the state government came, I believe, with a notification under the Panchayati Raj Act that for under the Fisheries Act and all, that some local laws were applied on that. So nowadays, now after that notification, that local law will not be applied into that. We contested the entire issue, but actually whenever the matter used to come for argument, before that there were 10-15 central excise matter which used to be listed, and this matter always used to come at the end. तो हमारा जो होता था 10-15 केस पढ़ते पढ़ते तक हम लोग थोड़ा सा we used to go, you just get out of that. So we were not able to be that prepared or something. It's like that. But however, we got prepared. We argued the matter. While we argued, the matter was dismissed. The state government lost that matter. When the state government lost, state government wanted appeals to be filed. They came to me twice, thrice. I said, no appeal is made out. Forget it. But finally, they could approach the Advocate General, and I was said that no, you file the appeal. We filed the appeal, and it was a very important issue. The state government had a huge loss into that, but I was not being able how to come up with my pleas. But when you start drafting a matter, you come to know that you can concentrate to the most when you are drafting the matter. Somehow we could make out a thin line distinction, and the lost matter went before the division bench, and we won the matter. There was a very small thin line distinction which we could make it out. In fact, the honorable judge put me this question that why didn't you argue this in the writ court? I couldn't have said anything except this, that I could make out this thin line distinction over here. And that was done, and we won that matter. So that was one matter which I always remember, because I was very reluctant filing the appeal. Although the government had a huge loss into that, but I was not understanding how to do about it. And finally, we could succeed into the matter.
So when you sit to draft, you think the
Yes,
nuances
at that
of a
point of
matter.
time, we were drafting the matters because we were working for the state government. So yes, we could make it. There are lots of cases. It is
Yes.
one of them.
Yes.
Lots of cases you feel that yes, you would be losing it, but then you win the case. And winning and losing is not important.
Right.
It is always about how you have been made out your matter. I remember that Justice Hemant Gupta has just joined the bar, Patna High Court. That was his first day. He was sitting with the Chief Justice. One of my matter got listed. I was arguing that IIT is not an government institution under Article 12 of the Constitution. This was thoroughly contrary to what I am saying right now.
Was this Supanji that matter?
Yes, Sapunji Pulanji matter. Yes, they had come, and I was appearing for the Customs and Central Excise.
Yes.
And I argued this matter. When I argued this matter, when I started, I could find myself into difficulty. When I was into difficulty, I requested the court that my lords would grant me indulgence for today. I'll come prepared tomorrow. The Honorable Court said that, could you change the circumstances in which you are arguing? I said, I will be at least in a position to satisfy myself that I argued the best. He said, all right. Next day when the result was known. The result was very much known to anyone.
Argument, yes.
But I argued well, to my satisfaction, and I tell you, Justice, thereafter, there were lots of committees which came up, and he was a new judge from outside. But he got me into all those committees, although the judgment was negative.
Right.
But that does not mean at all. It is all your satisfaction. What you are arguing, where you are arguing, what has been appreciated. You may be, there may be a positive order, there may be a negative order. That does not make much difference.
Your argument, the scope of your argument will only be based on the case that you have.
Yes, absolutely correct.
The one
Abhi, just say I will tell you, I argued one matter, 376, girl minor, but I was arguing for the boy, and that has become so viral. I lost that matter, but it has gone viral on the YouTube. Lots of people called me, lot many from all around, not only in Bihar, rather from all around people called me. So, but I lost that matter, and I got lots of clients because of that. They saw my argument and they called. So it is not all about winning or losing the matter. It is all about how you have placed your facts and whether that satisfied you or not.
So this case was on the internet. So court does live reporting.
In that point of time, the live was,
the recording on
was
YouTube.
Open. Yes, nowadays it's not open.
Oh, why? What happened? Is it because of lot of controversies? Yeah, because on internet what happens is certain clips will be taken out from the entire set of argument without looking into in what context these arguments are placed. On the basis of just those clips, a judgment will be drawn. And then certain aspects of a video, certain aspects of an argument will get viral.
Otherwise also we cannot comment on that. It is for the judges to take note of.
True. How did you see state of Bihar, or more precisely Patna High Court, evolving throughout your career?
I think that had been great, because whatever is the difficulty, that difficulty, I think any person faces, any careerist faces, any lawyer faces, any doctor, any professional faces the same. So when you are a careerist, those problems are there. Being a woman, as I told you at the outset, that you have to prove beyond a point that ice is required to be broken. We have so many good doctors around us. We have so many good lawyers around us. There had been so many good lady lawyers before me,
True.
much earlier to me. So they all have been able to break that ice. So that difficulty is there in every profession. So that difficulty has to be overcome, whichever profession is there. Don't we think that teaching profession is also difficult? It is also difficult. Wherever one tries to be better than, or one tries to be above anything, or one tries to improve oneself, the difficulty is there. So you have to prove yourself. For that you have to put lots of efforts. That effort has to be there.
But the state, but your answer would be positive that the state and the High Court has evolved to become more suitable for women,
Look,
working women more so.
they have actually, they are not doing anything special to the woman.
No, it will be participation of women.
Some changes are there. Some changes are there. Like I told you, those child unit and the other committees, those things are there.
Yes.
That is correct. Those things have come up now. Earlier, those things were not there. The difficulties must be there with the woman. Since I did not face that difficulty because of having a family background, having others to look after, so many things. So,
talking about family background, did you have any working women in your family to look up to?
My family?
Yes.
Oh, we have 4 sisters. All of us are working.
Okay.
My sister-in-law, they all are doctors. My sister is a doctor. My sister-in-law is a doctor. One of my sister is a professor. One had been into corporation. So all are working women. I think in my family there is none of the female
who are not working.
Who is not working. I would not say that. Who has not done well in her field. This I would rather say.
Great.
Like my sister, she is one of the best in UP. She had been awarded thrice gold medal. My sister-in-law, she is also very good.
So how much of this has played a role of being a good peer pressure on you to do well in
Yes,
life?
Yes. That the pressure I would not say, but I would not say that was a pressure mounted on me. Rather, I would say that encouraged you to the extent to achieve your goal. So that is just an encouragement which you get. That look, my sister has done so well. My sister, this sister has done that well. So it is like that. In my family, all the women had been working.
So someone to look up to in your own family really helps. It's very
inspiring. That really helps, no doubt about it, because then you get the perceptions. There you get lots of things you come to know. How she would have managed her affair, how things are managed. So those things are there. That helps you a lot. Therefore, I say that the first generation woman lawyer would have difficulty.
Think because of my mother would have been anyone to look up to.
Yes. Think of my mother would have been a lawyer. I would have been at lots of privileges.
Yes.
But then, no, but I don't believe this.
Don't you think it's a privilege in itself? When you have so much women to look up to?
That is a privilege. And then again, I would say it was just to place an example. I have never felt in my life till today that any of my family members should have been a lawyer. I would have got this privilege. I never thought like this.
Not just from your practice point of view. Like for a lot of people in Bihar, they may not have any woman for that matter who are working or who has a career or career oriented. So they do not have in their immediate family to look up to someone. So that way you think it's a privilege in itself to have.
Yes, it's a privilege because lots of perspective of yours, lots of background of yours, there are so many things which gives you lots of light towards your darkness, where you get to know how things are managed. So that is a privilege.
But even in your family, there will be one woman who would have broken the ice to do something or make a career for herself.
My sister.
Your sister.
My sister, we belong to a village community. I come from a village. My sister was brought out from village at the age of 4.
Mm.
She started studying. She became a very prominent doctor today. So
Great.
that was the ice cutting in the family, and
Mm.
very thankful to my father.
Who enabled this?
Yes, who enabled it.
Mm.
He could have done anything for us to have studied.
Mm.
He could have done anything for us to be here.
Mm.
So he did whatever he could have done, and it's all because of them.
Great. Coming back to the High Court again, have you ever at any point of time doubted the institution which you are serving?
No.
No.
Never.
Mm.
Doubt for what? I think
Could be in number of regions, like the institution is there to deliver justice, but you don't see in a case that justice has been well served and you started questioning everything. We all have our moments when we get very pessimistic about things or life in general. Has it
don't
ever?
you think that is a graph of life
Yes, yes,
which you have?
yes, sure.
When
So
you
have you
argue
ever
a
had a
matter,
moment like that?
yes, there are so many moments we say that, yeah, I argued this matter, I should have won this matter.
Mm.
So that is different.
Not one,
But
not in your personal matter, or maybe in your personal matter where you see that justice could have been served when things would have been in your
when
favor.
justice has not been served to me, it has been served to someone else, because somebody is losing, somebody is winning.
Mm.
So you cannot doubt. Patna High Court is very good so far as that aspect is concerned, I would rather say.
Mm.
You may not find anything adverse remarks so far as Patna High Court is concerned.
Great, great. In your opinion, what do you think is the biggest legal challenge in state of Bihar today? Is it access to justice? Is it legal education?
I think education and all we are doing, the reservation, I believe that is the biggest challenge. Because at the present, you must have come across when 65% of the reservation has been granted.
You think those are appeasement? And do we require reservation or don't?
No, not 65%. A cap is already there by the Honorable
50%
Supreme Court.
Sahni.
Indira Sahni's case.
Yes.
50%, you could not have crossed 50%. That was challenged before the Honorable Patna High Court. The Patna High Court had set aside. The matter went in appeal. The Supreme Court has already issued the notices. So that is there. I think this is the biggest challenge at the present, because reservation, although I think the upper caste is only 15.5%.
Yes, some caste census was done.
Census was done.
Yes.
So 65% giving a reservation. Let us see what the Supreme Court does out of that.
Let's
so
not again comment on that.
Yes, let us wait and watch for the result to come.
Sure. You have a very good social media presence. Do you think it plays a role from a practice point of view? Should lawyers who are practicing lawyers should have a good social media presence?
In view of Advocates Rule Act, that is banned. We cannot have that.
No, advertising is banned, but you can certainly express your own opinion.
Now, what I am saying, that media is playing but a very prominent role. Like I told you right now, that there was a matter which I lost, but that was on media. And because of that, lots of people approached me, although I had lost that matter. So that difference, does it? Of course it makes. It makes lots of differences. I think media plays a very important role.
Were you approached to support in certain cases, or they were just there to appreciate you or to?
No, lots of people approached me to contest their matter.
Similar matter.
Yes, similar matter, or maybe unsimilar matter also. But people come to know you, na? Through media, they come to know.
True.
Otherwise, how would they know?
True.
They are not aware that there is one Mrs. Nivedita Nirvikar. People do know. There are lots of people they does not know. So that is there. So media plays a very important role these days. The WhatsApp, the
So is that the reason
Facebook.
why you have a really good LinkedIn profile?
Is it good?
I mean, it's decently good. Lot of lawyers from Patna High Court do not have as good a profile as you have.
That's good. Let me see what happens.
Do you handle it yourself or someone else does it?
No,
for
I
you?
keep on doing it.
Or you keep on doing it?
Whenever I get some time, I'll do that.
Are you tech savvy?
Not much, but yes,
Try
to
to
the
teach yourself.
satisfaction of my work.
Hmm.
I know that much.
Do you like technology? Are you comfortable
Yes, yes, I'm comfortable.
with? Okay. Let's talk about the book that has inspired you the most. Non-legal or legal, whatever. Any one book that has inspired you the most.
There are lots of books which you...
Whatever comes on top of your head, whatever comes to your mind. The first book that comes to your mind.
I went through one book written on Mr. Jethmalani. So I was very inspired, or maybe I was interested into that matter, maybe because of, in his book, because of, I had the occasion of interacting with him.
Okay.
There was a vice chancellor's matter which used to go through, there were lots of vice chancellors who were appointed in Bihar.
Hmm.
There were notices were issued by the Honorable Supreme Court to all the vice chancellors, most of them. One of the vice chancellor for whom we were working, like in the university, he requested me to come along with him to Delhi for getting a lawyer appointed. I went. When I went, we had lots of discussion on the way while going to Delhi and the other things. We got a lawyer appointed, the lawyer did the work. And finally, while returning, he announced that now onwards, Madam would be looking after my case. Like he said that, look, I will not be engaging any other counsel in Supreme Court. So Nivedita ji would look after my case in Supreme Court. I was very young at that point of time, but it was a privilege. Actually, that gave me an access to the entire issue because I started visiting for that matter, in that vice chancellor's matter. Mr. Jethmalani was appearing for one of the vice chancellors. So I had lots of interaction with him. So maybe because of that, I got interested into his book and his life story and the other aspects. And I'll tell you that encouraged me to the extent that I am visiting Supreme Court always.
Okay.
That gave me that you get the courage that yes, I can do that.
Yes.
So thereafter, I have not looked back.
I had a privilege of listening to him once. He was invited back into my college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he had a very charming personality.
A very charming person. He had a very nice voice.
Yes.
That was the best part. He had a very wonderful voice.
Yes.
Although he was in the fag end of his career, but then again, I enjoyed talking to him because it was the same matter in which I was also appearing. And the matter was taken care on the day-to-day basis. It was being listed day-to-day basis type. Maybe today, maybe day after. So I had to rush after every alternate day to Supreme Court. So that gave me lots of confidence.
Right. So which book was this? Was it an autobiography?
Autobiography of
Jethmalani.
Yes.
Do you remember the title? I mean, we can search on the internet.
The book must be here itself.
Okay, we'll find out. Yeah,
we'll find out.
Okay, this will be my last question to you. What advice would you give to your younger self if she had to start her practice in 2025?
I would say that she should be confident first. Confidence and sincerity. These are the two things. Like you had put me a question that once you join, did you ever take a break? No, never. Actually, I should tell you one more story out of that. I had my third year exam of law. I delivered my child today and I went for the exam very next day. And there was lots of hangama in the hospital that examination wali patient is going. So that is
examination.
Yes, examination wali patient. And I tell you that I could have taken that break. I could have appeared after 1 year. Would not have made much difference. But it was all about your sincerity. It was all about your affirmation, your that yes, you have to do this.
To understand that, why I asked you those questions, because what I wanted to understand, does this inherently come to one individual, or the inspiration of having other working women doing really well in your lives, does that play a role? I mean, what I understood discussing with you is that it's both. Do you have anything to add?
It's both.
Mm.
And I think these days the girls are getting lots of privileges.
Mm.
The girls are made to understand that studying is very important. The
Now
girls
times
are,
have changed.
yes, the girls are
Mm.
made to understand that look,
Mm.
you are required to work.
Mm.
Looks how working is very important for you. So these things are there now, inbuilt in them. They are being born and brought up with all these ideas. And this is how we were also born and brought up, even at that point of time. It was not that we come from the earlier generation, therefore this was not there. As I told you, my father was very particular about this. So he made us that look, you have to work. It is for you to work. This is your working time. So the girls have to understand this, that when they are coming to the profession, they are not coming to the profession for a time pass.
Right.
They should do something. And for doing it, they will have to have an hard work.
Right.
Because there is no escape from hard work. Even today, we have to sit in our chamber for a very long time.
True. Very true.
So there is no substitute to that. Whether it's a male or a female, whoever. And females have lots of difficulties in their life because of their backgrounds. They are mother, they are sister, they are daughter. So they have to take care that part of the background also.
Great. I think that is all what I wanted to ask you at this point of time. Thank you very much. It's been an honor talking to you. It's a privilege that I've gotten this opportunity to talk to you.
Sure, thank you so much.
Before we wrap up, just wanted you to write one question. You don't have to write it for me, that you would want to ask another colleague of yours, whoever is going to be my next guest. Can you write that for me? Also sign, give me your autograph.
I think I would like you to ask the same question from a male colleague.
Please write it down,
my
whatever.
name,
yes.
Referring my name, that it is Mrs. Nivedita Nirvikar who has put this question to you.
I would do
and
that.
Ask him this. I am saying this.
So please write it. I'll have something written by you and also your signature for my record. Any question that you would write, I'm going to ask my next guest, and I'll tell it comes from you. Done? Have you signed?
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Phew, it's done. Have you enjoyed?
Oh, yes. I could recall lots of things.
Yes.
जो हम लोग भूल गए थे.
Yeah. If you have listened to us till now, I'm confident that I'm doing something worthy of my time. Please consider supporting us by liking and subscribing to this channel. Thank you.